Dear students, now let us continue to our first chapter in economics, that is Introduction to Economics. In this chapter, we have studied about our daily life and the role of consumer, producer, merchant, traders, etc. Their role in our daily life. The another point we studied that our wants are unlimited, but resources are scarce. We have only scarce resources, but our wants are unlimited. Why? Because man is a bundle of wants. Therefore, if you satisfy your one want, immediately another want will arise in our mind. Therefore, it is continuous. But while satisfying our wants, we have to give importance to prioritization or prioritizing. We give priority to most urgent wants and less urgent wants. We have to satisfy more urgent wants first, then the second or less urgent wants. Thus, we purchase goods and services in a market. Some goods are tangible, commodities are tangible, but services are intangible. We can't see. Goods, yes, we can see, observe. While getting or to take these goods and services, we have to pay price, not price. It is price. What is price? Price is value of goods in terms of money. Price means value of goods or services in terms of money. That is called price. We are all consumers. Sometimes we are also producers. Sometimes we are also distributors. Therefore, in the production process, producer, distributor, first customer or consumer. In a market, these three people are very important. They are the agents of market. Customer, producer, distributor. Customer purchase goods. Producer produce the goods. Sometimes a customer purchase goods from the market. Sometimes he buy. Sometimes he can sell. He sell his goods in a market. Yes, now in these economic activities, to satisfy our wants, we engage in different types of economic activities. Now the question is, how we can satisfy our wants? We can satisfy our wants with the help of money. How do we get money. We get money through employment or work. To earn money, we have to work. We have to work. Now, these are the various processes of economics. Producer, customer, distributor, buyer, seller, etc. Apart from this, the role of government is also very important. Government is there. What is the duty of the government? The duty of the government is maintaining law and order. Law means Kanunu, LAW, law and order. In economics, it not only maintains law and order, but also it imposes certain taxes on the goods and services what we have purchased or what we will purchase. It fixes taxes on each goods and services. All these taxes are income to the government. For example, while purchasing a bundle of books, we have to pay tax to the government. Throughout India, all the customers, they should pay tax while purchasing goods and services. That is the income of that country or income of our motherland, that is India. Therefore, this income, the government spend these income for various purposes. It maintains law and order, and also government has its own responsibility on its citizens. What is that responsibility? Government should provide proper roads and transport. Proper roads and transport. Then it should provide electricity. Very, very important. Electricity. Then drinking water facility. Drinking water facility. And agricultural support. Agricultural support. Thus, the government spend its income for various constructive purposes or various useful purposes. That these are also the responsibility of a government. And apart from this, it also provides security, protection from internal and also external affairs. Internal and external affairs. Internal protection and also from external protection. Who is the responsibility? Who is whole and soul? That is none other than our central government. Therefore, a normal day or our daily life is characterized by interaction among the producers, distributors and consumers and government. Producer, distributor, consumer and government. Our economic activity should indulge in these four factors: producers, distributor, consumer and government. Our day-to-day life is incomplete without these four people or four agents. Therefore, now each of them earns income and how they spend from the core of economic activities, how each of them earns income and how they spend forms the core of economic activity. Now the question is how each person means a producer is also a consumer, distributor is also a consumer, sometimes producer, distributor, government also a customer, it purchases different things from different companies. Therefore, now the whole economic activity fully depends in these four factors. Now, after hearing all this information, now the question is, what is economics? What is economics? It is study about household affairs. But totally, what is the clear-cut definition of economics? See, according to your textbook, economics may be described as the study of these economic activities. Economics is described as study of these economic activities of individuals or as a science that deals with the production, distribution and use of goods and services. Production, distribution and use of goods and services. Therefore, economics study individuals' economic activity. Our economic activity, and as a science, it also studies the relation between. It also studies the relation. It also deals with. It refers producer, distributor, and use of goods and services. That is economics. Our day-to-day economic activity. Yes, as a science, economics means economics is a science. It studies the behavior of producer, distributor, and consumer while using goods and services. Therefore, this definition focuses that our economic activity in day-to-day life. Economic activity and our behavior or our calculation while purchasing goods and services. This is economics. Therefore, economics may be defined as the study of economic activities of individuals or a science that deals with the production, distribution and use of goods and services. An important aspect is that we can't have all the goods and services we wish. See, in our day-to-day life, we are engaged in different types of works. Through that work, we earn income. With the help of this income, we can satisfy our wants. But one thing is that we can't satisfy all our wants because the resources, here resource means money. Resources are scarce. Scarcity of resources, shortage of resources. Therefore, our income is limited. Income is limited, wants are unlimited. But resource means this income or money, it is also scarce, shortage. Therefore, we can't satisfy all our wants. Therefore, according to economics, a prudent consumer, a intelligent consumer, he choose most pressing or important want at first. The common tendency is that our resources are scarce. Therefore, to satisfy our wants, or while satisfying our wants, we give preference to some most urgent commodities. If you have 10 wants or 5 wants, we can't satisfy all the 5 in a same time. Why? This is scarce, shortage of money. Then, how can you solve the satisfaction of all those 5 wants? See, in economics it is very easy. You have classified your wants as most urgent wants and less urgent wants. We have to give importance to most urgent wants. Most urgent wants we should satisfy first. Then less urgent wants second. Why? Shortage of vitamin M. What is vitamin M? Means money. Money is scarce. Therefore, we can't satisfy all our wants. Therefore, we give priority to most urgent wants. Suppose in a summer, during the time of or during a summer season, you want cool drinks and you want a pen also. But pen is very necessary. Why? For school. Therefore, we give priority to pen instead of cool drinks. Thus, you give importance to most urgent wants first and less urgent wants next. Thus, therefore, the scarcity and choice are basic problem of economics. Therefore, there are two basic problems in economics. What is that? First one is scarcity. Another one is choice. These are the two basic problems of economics. What is the scarcity here? Scarcity of resources. What is a choice? Choice whether we fulfill the most urgent wants or the second is choice, that is less urgent wants. We have satisfy our most urgent wants first and second priority to less urgent wants. Therefore, these are the scarcity of resources. Choice. When? Choice while satisfying our wants. Satisfaction of urgent wants or less urgent wants. Therefore, these are the two basic problems of economics. You experienced such problems in our day-to-day life also, whether it is by students or your parents. Next, in this background, economics is defined as the social science that examines. According to economics, here economist says that economics is a social science. Social, and also at the same time it is a science. Social science. Economics is a social science that examines how people choose to use limited or scarce resources in attempting to satisfy their unlimited wants. What economics tells? Economics tells that by using a limited amount of income, this is the symbol of income in economics. Limited income, how we can satisfy our most or majority of wants. By spending 10 rupees, we have to satisfy our wants that is equal to 100 rupees. We spend only 10 rupees. We got the satisfaction of 100 rupees. That is the mentality of economics. Therefore, economics is a social science. It studies by using limited resources how we can satisfy our unlimited wants. Therefore, economics is a social science. Our day-to-day life, that is our social life. Therefore, economics is a social. In social, science is also there. While spending money, we think a while whether it is urgent or not. Therefore, economics is defined as a social science that examines how the people choose to use limited resources to satisfy their unlimited wants. That is the general definition of economics. Economics have defined economics in different ways. Economists defined economics in different ways. But the above definitions describe the central idea of economics. If you study each definition of economics, it focused its attention on human life or our daily life. Now, who is the father of this economics? Father means who is the person who introduced this economics, who started the term economics as a subject. Therefore, we call him as father. Who is the father of economics? The father of economics is Adam Smith. Father of economics, Adam Smith. In the year 1776, he wrote a famous book. The name of the book is Wealth of Nation. In the year 1776. According to this book, or according to Adam Smith, he defines wealth. Yes, wealth of nations. Yes, he defines economics is the study of wealth. According to Adam Smith, economics is The study of wealth. Economics is the study of wealth. What is wealth here? Wealth means here, yes, money. Wealth means money. Then another economist, Alfred Marshall, another famous economist, Alfred Marshall, he defined economics as economics is the study of people in the ordinary business of life. Study of people, study of human beings when in our ordinary business of life. Ordinary, usual, ordinary business of life. Who defined in this way? A famous economist, Alfred Marshall, in the year 1890. AM means name of that economist, Alfred Marshall. Economics is the study of people. Yes, economics study. It studies people. People means behavior of human being while spending money, while earning money. Behavior of people in the ordinary business of life. Then another economist, Lionel Robbins. Lionel Robbins. R.O. Robbins. Lionel Robbins. He defined economics is the science. Economics is the science which studies human behavior. Human life, human behavior, same. Lionel Robbins defined it studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means. There are two terms, given ends and scarce means, which have alternative uses. We use different things in our daily life. He says economics is science which studies human behavior, behavior of customers, behavior of people, or behavior of a producer, behavior of distributor. It studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means. Scarce means shortage. What is here ends? Given ends means here a definite aim. Means resources. I already told resources are scarce. Resources are limited. Our aim of satisfaction of wants is unlimited. Therefore, it is a science which studies human behavior or behavior of the people as in between given ends and scarce means. This is the definition by Lionel Robbins. Now, the term economics, we know who was the father of economics, Adam Smith. Now, what is economics? The term economics, how it originates? How did it originate? The term economics. See, according to economists, the term economics is derived from two Greek words. Two Greek words. The term economics was derived from two Greek words. The first one is oikos and second one is nomos. Oikos and nomos. See here, oikos and nomos. These are the two Greek words. What is oikos and nomos? Oikos means here household. Nomos means management. Oikos and nomos. Oikos meaning household and nomos means management. What is the etymological meaning of the term? That is household management. Economics, the term economics refers household management. What is household management means? Household management. Management of our day-to-day life or management of our house. Management of our house or management of our daily life. This factor comes under microeconomics. At the same time, it studies the management of whole country. Government, we studied government. It imposes tax on goods and services and furnishes some essential benefits to its citizens and maintain law and order. Thus, totally, economics studies the household management, derived from the two Greek words oikos and nomos. Oikos means household and nomos means management. Thus, economic studies household management. It means, in short, it studies our day-to-day life. How we can satisfy our unlimited wants by using scarce resources. Now, the next concept is importance of the study of economics. What is the benefit after studying economics? What is the benefit of it to our day-to-day life? That is the importance of economics. Why should we study economics? Yes, we shall study that concept in our next class. Sai Ram.